Hey guys, purpose of this video is to talk about the surveys and how the surveys were structured. Before we get into the surveys, big picture, there are three primary sections to all the surveys. The first primary section are demographic characteristics, and we'll go over those in a moment. The second primary section that we're assessing has to do with the 14 learning objectives for PHM 1110. And again, if you need to review those, refer up to the course material and the syllabus from Aubrey and you'll see those 14 objectives. And then the next component has to do with the CEEF, foundational competencies. There are 22 foundational competencies in the MPH program. And I've created 2 links for you to learn more about CEEF and those foundational competencies. So if you click on the Modules tab and you scroll down to the bottom, you can see I created a PDF of those competencies right here. So you can just go and look at them. And I also linked you to the CEEF webpage if you just want to learn more about CEEF. So that'll link you to this page and you can just learn more about CEEF if that interests you. If you want to learn more about the competencies, you can go to my SPH student portal, click on academic requirements, click on CEEF competencies, and then you can scroll down MPH foundational competencies, and these are the 22 competencies we're assessing. You'll notice that each competency is in a subcategory. So there's 4 competencies that measure evidence-based approaches to public health, 2 competencies for public health and healthcare systems, etc. That'll become important when we get to the code book in our next video. All right, so let's look at the surveys. The pre-course survey is the first survey that students receive. We chose to assess PHM 1110 because generally speaking, students take this in their first year. It's a foundational course. Most students are taking it in their first year in the MPH program. And so it allows us to not only assess using a pre-post design of their growth or change in self-efficacy, increasing confidence to meet the learning objectives of the course, but also by putting the CEEF assessment into this course at baseline, which you'll see we did here in the pre-survey, and then repeating it in the MPH survey, which you'll see in a moment. It allows us to assess for our entire degree program what sort of growth happened among our health promotion and behavioral science students in their ability to meet CEEF competencies. And so you'll see that in a moment. Let me get into the weeds, and then I'm going to come up big picture. So starting with the 1110 course, after students identify some basic information, they consent, and then we use these responses to these questions to create their ID that we used in the linking log. After that, there are demographic characteristics. After the demographic characteristics, we ask students to talk about their goal for enrolling in 1110, and then they begin a series of self-efficacy assessments. It's a 5-point Likert scale ranging from not at all confident to extremely confident, and they assess their confidence on each of the 14 learning objectives. This again is done at the beginning of the semester. After completing that self-efficacy assessment, then students talk about their goal for their MPH degree in health promotion and health education. This one is for our graduates of our program, and here they're doing a self-efficacy assessment of all 22 CEEF competencies, and that's the pre-course survey. At the end of the survey, students who completed the pre-course survey are sent a link to complete the post-course survey. The post-course survey is a little bit different. In the post-course survey, we do ask them to repeat the link so that we can make sure we have the ability to link up their IDs. We don't ask for demographics because we did that at the pre-course survey, so we just pull that information in. And then we ask students to repeat the self-efficacy scale for the 14 learning objectives. After students complete the 14 learning objectives, they are then asked to complete the API. The API, you'll recall from your reading, is the Andragogy and Practice Inventory. It's chapter 19 in your Knowles text. This is a long survey that includes a number of factors. I encourage you to go back to chapter 19 in the Knowles book to get familiar with those portions. That is what's included in the post-course survey. The purpose of putting the API in the post-course survey is to understand the extent to which 1110 is creating self-directed learners, to the extent that we are applying adult learning principles to create a desire for people who enroll in 1110 to learn more about health promotion and behavioral sciences. That's why we're using the API in 1110. It's a cross-sectional survey at the end, or cross-sectional assessment, at the end of the 1110 course. So, the pre and the post survey for 1110, you're able to do a comparison of changes in self-efficacy to meet the 1110 learning objectives. From the pre-survey, you get a baseline measure of CEIF competencies and confidence to meet those competencies. In the post-1110 survey, you get the API assessment for PHM 1110. When students graduate with their MPH degree, if they're in the Department of Health Promotion and Behavioral Sciences, our admin sends them out this graduation survey. The graduation survey is sent out to some folks who never took the 1110 pre-post survey. So in that way, it is a bit independent. And so we repeat all the demographic information at the beginning. We have them complete the ID so we can link it back, and then we do the demographics. After the demographics, this survey has 2 sections. The first section, let me get past the demographics here to get to it for you. The first section is a repeat of the CEIF competencies using that same self-efficacy scale, the Likert scale, from not at all confident to extremely confident on the 5-point Likert. So they complete their assessment of CEIF competencies. This allows you, if you take the pre-course survey from 1110 and you compare the results of the MPH graduation survey, you're able to see changes in CEIF competencies, self-efficacy to meet CEIF competencies, right? Obviously, it's a smaller data set because it's only our graduates and only those who completed the graduation survey, which by the time students get to graduation, they kind of have survey fatigue. They're less likely to do it. But we had about 83 responses to the survey. So that's something to look at there. So you are able to look at changes in self-efficacy if you choose to do so. In addition to that, they are asked again to do the API. The API, this time though, is focused on the extent to which our entire degree program applied principles of adult learning and encouraged folks to become self-directed learners to keep learning about health promotion and behavioral sciences upon graduation. So again, another cross-sectional assessment using the API, but with the MPH, it is focused on the degree program, whereas the 1110 post-survey is focused on that one course. Okay, hope that was useful. If you have any questions, do let me know.